And we're going to talk?
We're all going to talk
Oh, we're all going
together.
to talk. Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
So here we're at the Flying E, in case you didn't know where you are.
Yeah.
You can see on Jesse's vest. And we're here with Jesse and Ray.
Yep.
So Jesse, you tell us what you do.
I do everything.
She really
As far as
does
the lodge
everything
goes,
for everyone.
From serving to doing the dishes, mopping the floor, just making sure things are tidy and clean, and make sure the guests have what they need.
But what you really do is like love every single human being that walks in the door. That's what I experienced. And watched you.
I do, and it's just amazing how people are really respond to that, and they get it, and that's what I love. That's my favorite part.
They appreciate it. I talked to someone yesterday that said, one of the first thing I loved about today is that I walked in and Jesse came over and gave me a big hug, and I felt like I was home.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
And we take care of internal guests. We take care of Jesse and I walk down there and see if they want breakfast, or sometimes we'll take them coffee.
Oh, we do.
You do, like at the bunkhouse or in the...
At the where the
Wranglers.
Wranglers are working.
And then
walk down there.
Letty, that's not here right now, the housekeeper, we ask her if she wants lunch or breakfast. So it's really important to take care of the internal guests.
Yes.
Which is our colleagues.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And
Which, according to Jim Brown, says, who is the most important people on the ranch?
Us.
And he said it was us, the employees.
Yes,
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
He is such a great guy.
Jesse and I will do things like, there's days where it's overcast or rainy and they can't take a ride out. So we'll put a little bag together with carrots and some apple and give it to the kids so they can feed the horses at least.
Oh.
Because they got to kind of leave without a ride. So we
That's
do things,
so sweet.
Yeah, so we do things like
Make
that.
it special for them.
Yeah, and Jesse's brought like coloring books in and done that kind of stuff. And
One little girl, I did the shrink. Have you ever done shrinky dinks?
Oh my goodness.
I had a bunch of
Yes,
shrinky dink stuff
when
for
my
my
kids
grandkids,
were
and I
tiny.
brought it up here. They were from Germany, this family, and the mom went out riding. She was a good rider, and the dad stayed here. She must have been about, I'm going to say about 7, 8 years old. And I did shrinky dinks the afternoon with this little
That's
girl.
so great.
I'm gonna make Jessie blush.
no.
She did something amazing, just amazing.
Oh no.
And she doesn't talk about it because she's shy, not shy, she's
Humble.
humble. But this is what Jessie did, and I'll let her tell the story. But we had the Gatlin brothers stay here, and Larry Gatlin had allergies. So you want to tell her all the details.
So Larry,
it's amazing.
We didn't have any housekeeping that day.
Oops.
Yeah. There was nobody here. Letty was on one of her vacations.
And Larry did admit that he didn't let anyone know. So,
he said I can't
forgot
handle the smell in the sheets. It makes anyway.
Really high allergy.
Wow.
So he says I'll just sleep here on the couch. He was going to sleep in here on the couch. I was like, no, we're going to get your bedding. We'll get your bedding fixed. So I went and bought some scent-free detergent, pulled all his bedding off, took it over to the laundry room, and I was here all day doing the laundry to make sure.
She made sure that it was all done in time for them after the concert. Isn't that amazing? She's very humble about that. I think that's huge.
This is what, in hospitality, we call the care gene.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of born with it, or you're not.
Yeah.
And people like you can, this is why I love so much what I do. But you can't really train the skill.
Absolutely
but
not.
that feeling, that emotion, the way you operate in the world, it's contagious. So if someone follows you around and picks up on this enough, it's like having a child, that's how you train them. And people will start to pick up on, let's do it the way Jesse did it.
Yeah.
And they'll start to think it's part of the system, when in fact it's part of your heart, like expressing organically.
And her and I had a mentor when I went through culinary school.
Yeah.
And her and I both believe in, we have younger people work here, and Jesse and I will mentor them.
Yes.
We don't just tell them
that.
to do this, we explain why this needs to be done.
Sure.
Jesse will explain why the dining room needs to be a certain way.
Yeah.
You got to pull all the chairs out.
You guys are great.
She's amazing with the guests.
Yeah.
I don't think Ray would recognize what I do as something great if Ray did. I've heard this kind of thing is like he has that too, and that's why he
Yes.
recognizes it in me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a great point.
Yeah.
And you know, in a lot of our reviews, almost all our reviews, she's like the first name on the reviews.
Yeah.
Like
wow,
Jesse
of
met me at the
course.
door. I mean all this from my heart. Like
You're
it's
so sweet.
you deserve it, and I know you're humble, so you know. But yeah, Jesse met us at the door. Jesse made us feel like we were like part of the family right off the bat. We walked right through the door.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And she'll go to the rooms and help people, and yeah.
Tell me what you were saying the other day, that sometimes people will come and they're a little uncertain if they haven't been here before. Talk to me about that a bit.
They come in, they're, they get here, maybe they're from the city, maybe they're from Chicago or, somewhere, and they've never been in this atmosphere before. They're a little apprehensive when they get here. And you get this kind of like, I'm not sure if I like it. It's not, this isn't a 5-star. And just by helping, showing them this is just kind of a home away from home, that we're casual, and it changes them. And 3 or 4 days later, they're giving me a hug before they leave, because they just absolutely fall in love with this place.
Oh, and we talk a lot about in hospitality, like training people. People want to feel like they belong, right?
Yeah.
They want to feel seen and heard. And you're out there you literally sit down at the table while you're taking their order, it's beautiful.
And then at nighttime, you see, I did stand-up comedy for 5 years.
This is so interesting that you say that, because I was standing here thinking, I feel like you are a performer.
People tell me I'm on all the time.
I can feel that vibe.
Yeah.
I know a lot of performers.
Right.
Plus, you make amazing chili,
Thank
I
you.
had last night.
And
so
everything
everything
else. To
else.
the guests, like I make them laugh. I tease them. I make them laugh. We'll have a family.
Good storyteller.
Yeah.
Ah.
We'll have a family of 5, and there'll be like the 5 or 6-year-old, 7-year-old son. I'll take everybody's food out except his, and I'll go, all right, everybody, enjoy, and I'll walk away. It makes them laugh.
And
they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
Both
And you've
of
done
us,
special desserts for the
Special
kids.
desserts
Like
for
you
the
make
kids, the
the s'more
s'more
thing.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always try to garnish the plates, make everything look
I
good,
know. I
and try
had the
to-
beautiful strawberries on my plate. I didn't
Yeah.
order them today. They
Just,
came
I
out
think
of
both
magic.
us, we want this to be like 4 or 5 star,
Yeah.
and we treat it like that. But then we know it's a rustic ranch.
Yeah.
But she's right about the guests when they come in. Some of them are like don't know what's going on. So she's really well versed in the area, and she showed me something last year, the Yarnell fire.
Oh.
Trail. So now I incorporate that into people. I'm like, do you hike? And
because people ask what
That's
to do here.
great.
Sometimes we get 4 people, and only 2 will hike, or 2 will ride, and 2 will want to hike or something.
Yeah.
So we do
This
that
is
too.
the special magic wand
Yeah, absolutely.
that really, this is what we're all about. Okay, so tell me how you wound up here.
So
Because you have tell us a bit about your history.
So I went to culinary school. I was a corporate chef for 23 years, and I got out of that. Became a traveling chef. I went to a Buddhist monastery for a year.
Wow.
And then I didn't know what I was going to do, and somebody said, "Chef, you can go and there's a website called Coolworks. I don't know if you heard of it."
Yes.
So I went to somebody told me, they said, "Chef," because
It's
I
a
was going to
really
go back into
cool
corporate cooking.
opportunity.
They said, "Chef, you can go to Coolworks." I'm like, "What's that?" And so I found out you can live and work in a place. So I went to Yosemite. It was my first national park. I worked in 8 national parks: the Arctic Circle, Alaska, 18 different states, Utah, all over. And so I did that. So I had a bucket list. A dude ranch was on the bucket list. This place, there was no ad or anything. I literally went online.
Wow.
And this other place, what's it called?
Los Caballeros.
I called there and talked to their chef, and it was completely uppity and kind of, I wanted rustic. So then I found Flying E Ranch.
You just popped in
I sent
one
them
day?
an email. No, I was living in, I think it was California. Because it was on my bucket list. So I sent an email. The chef at the time called me up, and he asked me a few questions, and an Opal asked me a few questions, and they said, "What, can you be here in the next 2 days?" I said, "Yeah," and it was perfect timing. I got this literally off the internet. There was no
I
ad,
love
and they
these
needed a
stories.
chef.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just worked out
Yeah.
good.
And
But
you've been here how long now?
This is my 3rd season, 3 years.
Oh, Ray,
Yeah.
that's
Her and I have been
amazing.
together 3 years. That's why we get along so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I just we work so well together. We don't. There's days where like we clean together and we just kind of. It just all comes together.
People think we're married.
Yeah.
They'll think that, well, your husband in the kitchen. And I'm like, no.
And they've said wife to me. Yeah.
Well, he's my work husband.
Yeah, exactly. But this camaraderie, you know, and her
yes,
and I
it's
a lot,
so
of course, you know.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
You can't manufacture that.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come from your heart, who you are, and out of service.
And so I don't really ride horses. I went on one horseback ride in 3 years. But I also went to Sun Valley Resort, one of the best resorts in the world.
Yeah,
I was chef there at the
Oh, you were?
I was the chef at the Lookout Restaurant.
Oh my
goodness. At the very top of the mountain.
Wow.
But I don't ski or snowboard. But I wanted that experience. In life, you have to, you want to taste all this stuff. Even
yes,
though I don't ski or
expansion.
snowboard. So that's why I came
You guys
here.
are speaking my language.
Yeah, so I don't really,
it's so
I just
fun.
like the animals and I like the quaintness. There's a quaintness and in the rusticness of it and stuff.
And there's family.
It's family oriented.
Yeah.
Like we feel like a big family. You know, we go ups and downs, but we make through hard times and good times and
just like a family. We don't always like
cry
each other.
together, hug
we always
together.
Love each other.
Yeah. Pretty amazing, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What else do you want to add?
I don't know.
It's pretty clear why you do what you do.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think there's a lot of I have a passion. I mean I love Opal and Jim.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more
They're
so
awesome.
more so even that I love the legacy of the flying and I want to see this place continue. I don't know what it is. It just seems like a draw to do that. And I feel like I'm doing something bigger than myself. That doing this is bigger than myself. That it's benefiting people and maybe just make their lives a little bit better when they leave here. You know, and that in
absolutely
fact affects the world. You know,
completely.
I mean, these people are in a better place. Those people are in a better place, and it just. You know, it just goes on exponentially.
And my thing is that my whole entire career, I've done social chef. I was a banquet chef. So all the things that I've done as a chef were entertaining, like vacation people and corporations coming in and so I believe that, like, I know Jesse thinks the same thing. Some people save up to come here.
Yes.
And so that we want to treat them, even if it's bad weather or whatever, we want them to have a good experience. Because we don't know, this might be the dream trip of a lifetime, even though it's a little ranch. Yeah. This might be the dream trip of a lifetime.
I love that you say that.
To feel that way, that they saved their money for the right reason, they came here for the right reason, and I watch her, and I think we feel that need in this area of the lodge and the ranch. But yeah, I mean, it's just.
My goodness, you guys are so great. So the name of my company is Expitality, which is like putting experiential and hospitality together. We do a lot of outdoor hospitality, but it really is about focusing on that. You guys said it all organically. Experience. And you never know where someone's coming from. You guys have such a heart. It's just makes me so happy.
Yeah. And we don't know if they bring a child here if the child's sick.
Yeah.
They just don't want to tell us. And this might be a dream to ride a horse. You know, they might have a couple months left to live. Or we don't know. You have to have that mentality.
It's a care gene. It is a care gene.
Yeah.
And you're over delivering all the time, right? It's like every moment, every interaction is that opportunity to over deliver. You guys have it totally.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Share it with everyone.
Yeah.
You're great
That's
mentors,
really nice.
and you can lead teams to do this and follow in your footsteps. And I heard a lot of people that I spoke with mention they came up during the pandemic because it was the oasis of sanity when all this craziness. They're like,
we got that feedback.
It kind of felt like we were not even. I mean, we were very much aware of the pandemic, but here we weren't.
We weren't in the storm.
You weren't affected by the drama and the fear and everything.
Yeah,
people came and felt like they were at home and safe and could be normal.
It could be normal, yes.
And we didn't we weren't overbearing with the rules because they knew how to follow them. We knew how to follow them.
Yeah.
So we didn't
This is something I love about the Western culture is that there's like you the things you do, like close the gate, always close the gate, right? Like everything is really logical, but there's never an over government.
Right.
There's never like we were talking about, too many rules. And speak to the chaos a little bit, like what we were telling.
Last season?
No,
Of
just
general.
of in
Chaos.
general, how you have, we were talking about being fluid. So you have certain rules and regulations, of course.
Yeah, we have to follow health, in here. But I think things can change within minutes or hours. We're going to have 50 guests, now it's going to be 70 guests. You just have to be, you have to be like the willow. You have to be able to bend, just change.
Exactly.
You won't survive here if you're not willing to.
We tell them about the rattlesnakes, about the scorpions. They'll do s'mores, make sure they don't burn themselves.
Scorpion? No, I'm kidding.
We do
What?
fires in the
I'm outta here.
fireplace, and we make sure that they're
I found a tarantula underneath the sink one day.
Yeah.
They're harmless, though.
They are.
Tarantulas.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
just
they're
look
harmless,
creepy.
They do look creepy.
We used to have a lot of those when I lived in southern Colorado. We had wolf spiders that were like literally this big, as big as. They were freaky, but anyway, this is, let's not talk about spiders.
And then we'll have a fire, and Jesse makes sure they're not putting too many logs on, and we just kind of adhere to all the safety stuff, make sure things are done right.
One day
But you
I was
do
standing
it
here
in a
and doing
fun
dishes.
way, too.
We have
You
some
make it
kids
fun.
here, and one of the boys was like, he was really hyper. He was really, really active kid. And I seen him out here playing, and he had a little, I don't know if it was his friend or his cousin or something. They were out here. And then he's over here at the horseshoe pit. I kid you not, he took that horseshoe and he's swinging it around like this.
Yes.
Oh.
Jesse went right
And
out
it could
there.
have went through the window. It could have hit that
the
other
in the head.
kid.
Yeah.
And I went out there and I had
Whoa.
to yell at him. That's not how you. I go, you're only supposed to do this with a horseshoe. You cannot swing it around.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have to do that sometimes. Like, regardless of if the parent gets upset that I'm yelling at their
Totally.
kid,
It's a safety issue.
It was a safety issue.
Yeah.
And then we make sure people are fed right, and there are people come in here extremely picky. Jesse and I, and just maybe picky too. Like they don't eat salmon, or they don't like barbecued ribs, or in being a small ranch, we make sure that
you can
everybody's
accommodate
happy.
them.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
nice, and they appreciate it.
Of course.
Her and we had two ladies come in here, and here's the entertainer part. I said so one little old lady, and I said, how's life? She goes, what's it to ya? Like that. Just like that, right?
Yeah.
And so then, but we thought, because we feel them out. And,
Yes,
we didn't know if they were going to have like a bad trip, a good trip. And then they wound up hugging us and having a great time. And, it's just, you got to take that. We don't know if they had maybe something's going on in their life. And because we've had people tell us this is their getaway from like a divorce or something, right?
Yeah.
And so this is their freeing the mind thing.
Yeah.
In the short time I've been here, 3 days, 2 days, something like that, I spoke with 3 women that this was their first solo trip after losing their husband of like 42 years.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
It's a big step. It is.
And one of the things so you guys are so tuned into other people and serving them. It's incredible. And one of the women said, I love to come here right after my husband died, because some days I just wanted to not talk. And everyone seemed to kind of sense that and let me just be quiet. And other days I craved, like she was healing.
Yes.
And when I craved conversation or attention, it would be there for me. And people come here to
That's really
heal
good story.
so many things. And another woman said to me, I was like, what is it about this place? And she's like, I can breathe when I come here.
Yes.
Like, I just show up, and all of a sudden, I know everything's going to be okay.
It's like they're home. No one's
love
watching
that.
them.
Yes.
Nobody's overlooking them.
That's right.
I'll tell you. I'll share one thing with you, and I usually don't give myself a compliment, but I have like 10 major compliments in my culinary career, but one really stuck out here. We had those 2 ladies that have been here since 1965, the year I was born. Remember? Mm-hmm. They didn't tell me, but they went to the office and told Angie, and she just happened to be on the phone with Jim. They told Angie I was the best chef that this place has ever had since 1965.
I totally believe
So,
that, by
but, I
the
mean,
way.
and
It's pretty obvious that you're amazing.
Well, thank you. But I mean, that
I
comes
was
down to
concerned
very
about the
intimate.
food when I
Oh.
first got here because I've done so many Western
Yeah.
places, and it's oftentimes predictable.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is breakfast? Okay, then I'm having dinner. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I'll make chicken francais. I'll make all kinds of like some, and of course we do rustic because
Totally.
that's what they're here for. But like I'll do like chicken francais, or I'll do something like a little fancier.
Chicken piccata.
Chicken piccata. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
You know what the difference is too? Like often in the Western theme, people give a token nod to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that leaves the guest, unless you've never been exposed to something like this and you're impressed, it leaves them like, okay, but you over deliver on the food.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
amazing,
Thank
and
you.
a lot of it. Everyone that had their breakfast delivered yesterday was like, wow,
Yeah. Thank
you know?
And Jesse and I, like I speak for both of us, like when the singers come here, the entertainment,
Yeah.
we're like, we know we have a good sense of how to treat them. If we need to back off a little bit and they want some alone time, or if they they like that.
Sometimes they like conversation.
They like
want
the
you
conversation.
want you to talk with them and talk,
Like
let
the
them
Gatlin
talk about
brothers
themselves or
and
whatnot.
stuff.
Yeah, Larry Gatlin, he's like a friend of ours now.
Mark Chestnut, yeah.
Mark Chestnut,
Mark
yeah,
Chestnut.
we've had some.
Larry Gatlin came here and washed dishes his first day. He came in here and washed dishes.
He came in and washed his
If
dish.
you can believe that.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let us grab the plate from him. He just
Oh.
yeah, they were but
Doesn't that just make you...
oh, it's the best. But I
It's
did
so
have to-
encouraging about like who people actually can be.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't treat the celebrities or the bands like they're
Right.
any more special than the other
Yeah.
guys. They all get the same treatment.
I
I
think
know
they actually
that-
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they appreciate that.
I remember Terry Clark? Terry
Clark, yeah.
So
you
I was
made her.
I'll tell her that story too.
Yeah, do that.
I was in here and I was putting some plates. It was just me and Terry Clark. She was the only one in the dining room. She ate at 2:30. And so I was putting some plates in the sink, and she opened the door and she goes, "Chef, you're not washing dishes, are you?" And I turn around and go, "Of course not. Of course not. I'm just putting this in there for the dishwasher that doesn't work here." And she goes, "Oh, good." She goes, "I'll see you later."
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was, oh my God, it
That's
was
so
hysterical.
cute. Yeah,
like
and
Mark
Lainey's been here.
Lainey's been here
Yeah.
twice.
She feels
Yeah.
like she's at home when she's
Yeah.
She hugs
here.
us, and yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll come in the kitchen.
Mark Chestnut just in there drinking beers. And
Right.
I made chicken piccata, and they wouldn't let me take the platter away.
Oh.
Remember, they wanted more rolls to sop up the thing. So yeah.
Oh
But I mean,
my
I
gosh.
think something I'll take with me, my is what she did for Larry Gatlin. And I know I'm gushing over you, but I think that what she did with the sheets and doing that for him was like so beyond like that's what service is.
It
really,
is.
honestly. You deserve
You
that.
see
Like,
what needs to be done and you do it. And that's priceless.
Yeah.
You cannot put a price on that.
because
They
anybody
are
else
so
would've been,
fortunate to have you guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Wow.
And I hope you feel, I'm sure they gush
They
on
do,
you all the
yeah.
time, but
Opal and Jim, they tell us all the time. And there's not a time where Jim doesn't come through this kitchen and give me a big old hug.
He always gives us a
and
hug.
Opal says
I
same
don't know if Opal did it on purpose or not, but one time I was getting off the phone with her and she goes, "Love you." I love
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah. She'll say the same thing to me and they'll hug us and
Yeah,
they're great.
she's-
They're
they're
awesome.
Yeah.
They're really good
We
people.
love
yeah,
them.
they are.
And I want to work hard for them.
Yes.
They're motivating. And
Yes.
they I just want to go above and beyond because they're so good.
I know.
Yeah.
He came in and I don't know if he always does this, but every time I've seen him in the last few days, every time he walks through a door, he's singing.
Yeah.
I noticed.
I love it. It's like an old cat, like a Marty
Yeah.
Robbins or something. Like he just, it's like he's transitioning himself
I don't even
to
think
the
I've ever
next.
seen him in a bad mood or anything.
Oh, I can't
I'm sure he's
imagine
human,
him.
He does, but not like around us or anything.
He never.
but
I don't know that.
I've never
he would
seen
show
him-
He's
it.
so jovial and kind, and he just takes everything so. He just lets it wash over him,
Yeah.
you know.
I have
And
to tell you though, he is our champion. Okay, so
Yeah.
we do the Cowboy Church here on Sundays.
oh, okay, I
They
didn't
do it.
know.
They hold services
Today?
down below.
Is
Yeah,
it
they
It
today?
did.
should be
They
here
had
at
it.
9:30.
They had it. Yeah, they have it today.
Oh,
So anyway, so a group of ladies from that church were doing a Bible study up here. And they got really pushy. And they got pushy with Ray and I. And
Oh,
they
yeah?
wanted to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they were, it was just, they were rude.
Yeah.
And so I just went in the office just to kind of vent about it, and I was like, gosh, those ladies, and Jim was sitting right there, and he goes, well, nobody's going to treat you like that. He goes, they're out of here. You tell those ladies they're going to have, they're here for free. Those ladies are going to have to find someplace else to have their meeting.
Good
We are
for
Picked up
him.
the Bible study ladies.
That's great.
I mean, he totally took up for us.
Yes.
And said, no, nobody's going to treat
And
you like
that's
that.
what proves to you it is family.
That right
And
there is
and he's
just-
operating out of true values, and that you do matter.
Yeah.
Because when he treats you like you matter, you can treat other people like they matter, and they treat other people. It's a
I think Jim is very conscious of that.
Very. And I will say, I have to say this about Opal. I've been cooking for 33 years. I've never seen anybody work harder, and I've told her this many times. I've never seen anybody work harder than Opal ever. Incredible. I don't even know how she does it. This petite woman.
Yeah.
She's doing
She's a powerhouse.
the rooms of cooking and this and that, and I told her, I said, you took me to another level. I've worked with some hardworking people in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I told her, I said, I'm not just saying that. Like, I don't, I'm at a point in my life where I don't need to kiss up to people.
right.
Like, I have a good resume. But I told her, I said, it's pure gratitude. Like, looking at you is like, wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, she'll do rooms all for the whole morning, and then come work in the kitchen. It's incredible. They're really good
And
people.
she really, Opal is the one that really listens to us if
Yeah.
we have a problem, if we have things that are going on.
Yeah.
Opal is right there for us.
Yeah.
Gosh, I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
gave
of
me
course.
such a deeper understanding of what's going on here. They're so fortunate to have you.
Oh, well, thank
and
you.
I do love you, and I don't even know you. I just
thank
feel
you.
it. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Of course.
You gave
our
me
pleasure,
so much more time than I
Yeah, of course.
asked you for. So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to end this.
Okay.
Say goodbye to everyone from the
Goodbye,
Flying
everyone.
Bee.
Bye.